Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Storytime with Naya. Today's episode is not one of those light conversations. Today is heavy. Today is painful. And honestly, today is necessary. Because sometimes we scroll through social media, we watch a video, we feel bad. We feel bad for 2 minutes and then we move on. But some stories should not be moved on from so quickly. Some stories should disturb us. Some stories should make us uncomfortable. Some stories should force us to ask. And this is one of them. Imagine being tied down. Imagine knowing your life is in someone else's hands. Imagine begging, not for money, not for favor, not for help, but begging for your own life. That was the reality of a 28-year-old young man in Delta State, Mene Ogidi, a young man whose final moments were captured in a video that many people have now seen. He was restrained. He was helpless. He was speaking. He was trying to explain. He was begging. And despite all of that, he was still shot. That alone should shake anybody. Because the question is no longer whether he was innocent or guilty. The real question is, why was someone already under control still killed? Why did a man have to beg like that and still not make it home? Why are people who are meant to protect citizens but becoming the reason families are mourning? And why does this keep happening? Today, we are not just talking about Mene. We are talking about every Nigerian who has ever felt unsafe in the presence of the people meant to provide safety. We are talking about fear, power. We are talking about accountability. And we are talking about justice. Because silence helps nobody. And stories like this do more than silence. Sometimes I ask myself, what kind of country are we living in? A country where dangerous criminals and bandits are sometimes treated with patience, negotiations, and second chances. People will say they can change, they can surrender, they can become better tomorrow, but when it came to this young man, where was that patience? Where was that mercy? Where was that second chance? A man was tied down, begging for his life. He was speaking, he was explaining, he was pleading, yet instead of justice, he was met with a bullet. Someone's child, someone's son. Someone who woke up that morning not knowing he would never return home. And the people meant to protect him became the reason his family is mourning. That is the painful part. Not just the death, but the cruelty in it. How do you look at a human being and crying for his life and still pull the trigger? What kind of system allows that? What kind of lawlessness makes people feel powerless in the hands of those sworn to protect? This is bigger than one person. This is about the value of human life in this country. Because if mercy exists for some, why was there none for him? And let's be honest, this is why so many young Nigerians live in fear. Not fear of criminals, but fear of uniforms, fear of checkpoints, fear of being stopped for no reason, fear of becoming another hashtag. Because when protection starts to feel like danger, then something is deeply wrong. This should never be normal. It should never be normal for parents to panic when their children say they are coming home late. It should never be normal for people to record arrests because they are afraid someone may not return alive. It should never be normal for a life to end while people stand there watching helplessly. And yet, here we are, talking about another life lost, another family broken, another painful reminder that justice often feels delayed or completely absent. But we cannot keep normalizing it. We cannot keep saying that is how Nigeria is, because every time we accept it, we make room for it to happen again. Justice must not just be a social media trend, it must be real. Accountability must be real. Consequences must be real. Because if not, then tomorrow it could be anybody. Me, you, someone you love, someone who simply left home and never came back. So today, this is more than a podcast. This is a reminder that human life matters. A reminder that power without accountability becomes danger. And a reminder that silence helps no one. Mene begged for his life. He should have been heard. He should have been protected. He should have gone home. But he didn't. And that is why we must keep talking. Because justice begins when people refuse to stay silent. Thank you for listening to this episode of Storytime with Naya. And I hope the next time we speak on stories like this, it will be because justice was finally served. See you in the next episode.